Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another weekly predictions video. We're already on to week 3. Last week, I said that was one of the craziest weeks I've ever seen. This week was one of the craziest week. Almost more than or half or maybe more than half the games were comebacks. There were some insane games this week. And it was really very similar to last week. Very timid, not much going on the first half of the games. And then at the end, fourth quarter, end of the third, the games just erupted. So many good games this week. It was absurd. So hopefully somehow week 3 tops week 2. But as you guys know, we'll be going over each game, giving our predictions. And yeah, make sure you guys do subscribe to the channel so you can find more prediction videos we post during the week as well. Film analysis, game recaps, all kind of stuff like that. And as well, if you have any video suggestions, we would love to hear it. We'll probably get some mock drafts up soon. Who knows? But yeah, so make sure you guys strap in. As always, before we get into it, I'm Kean McDermott. I'm joined by Dylan Shalom. Dylan, how are you feeling? We're all very happy because all of our teams won. Dylan, Dolphins won. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling spectacular.
All right. Surridge, how are you feeling? The Jets won.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel amazing right now, man.
It's crazy because the Jets and Dolphins both massive comebacks. Charlie.
Dylan. Yeah, you guys had the easy one. Me and Dylan had to stress that out, man.
We were on FaceTime the whole time.
You're saying we weren't stressing either?
Oh no, but compared to us, man.
Come on.
Compared to us, bro. All right, we'll get all into that.
I don't know about that, but okay.
You don't understand our struggle.
Well, we didn't have to have a crappy comeback. We could actually maintain our.
Sorry.
Yeah, we didn't let up 30 plus.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
And we didn't underthrow our receiver twice.
My bad. He underthrew the
And we didn't have to rely
touchdowns.
on a rookie to win us the game.
Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so game 1. Thursday night, we have divisional matchup. Steelers, Browns, both lost. Both surprisingly lost. I don't know how you lose to the Jets, and I don't know how you lose to the Patriots. Those are two games that definitely they should have won, but it'll be an interesting one. Again, these especially Steelers, Browns in prime time is such an exciting matchup. And again, you know, the primetime games are slowly getting worse. We're going to get to like the Jaguars Texans game soon enough. But
hey man, don't sleep on the Jaguars and the Texans.
But this is a good game. I think it's a very good game. And again, like I just said, this matchup classically has given us some classic games. So Serge, I'll go to you first. Kind of what do you think when you look at this game?
I think obviously two teams coming off depressing losses. Obviously the Browns whole new level, but I think Pittsburgh, just that offense just did not look good at all. And it was against a Patriots team that just didn't look good either. So I was very surprised that they just completely locked down that offense. Trubisky didn't look good enough. We didn't really see enough from the big three of receivers. We saw George Pickens only 1 reception for 23. Deontay was okay, 6 for 57. But overall, it just wasn't a great performance on offense. But I think the Browns, they had a good performance on offense with Jacoby Brissett, very surprising, but I don't think they'll replicate that. I think the Steelers still have a very good defense, and I think the offensive weapons will wake up next week, and I think they'll beat the Browns. Sorry.
All right. I think that's fair. I mean, I will say I did predict the Patriots win over the Steelers this week, so I called it. But I think the Steelers are going to go back out and win this week. I think the Browns did not impress me. Losing to the Jets is not impressive at all, by no means. No offense to Surridge or any Jets fans out there.
I can't be.
Congrats to the Jets, but the Browns just looked really bad other than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb with 3 rushing touchdowns, something we might have to get used to. I know Kareem Hunt is generally the majority of the rushing touchdowns for the Browns. But Nick Chubb did it today. And I think if they rely on Nick Chubb, they could, start winning a lot more games, especially without a, starting quarterback in. But I think the Steelers, even without TJ Watt, are going to be able to slow down this Browns offense more than enough to get them this win. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
All right. So I would like to say that I put a lot of research into all these games. The reality is I usually put a lot of research into the first couple ones and then it tails off. But I did watch every throw of Trubisky's game today. And I know Serge watched the Brissett game today. So I'd like to ask you, Serge, did Brissett look like a backup today?
He did not look like a backup.
Brissett did not look like a backup. And I can tell you that watching all Trubisky's throws, he looked like a backup today. So I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to go with I don't care. He didn't look like one. I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns here. Their rushing attack was on point. Amari Cooper looked really good. The Steelers didn't impress me. I don't really see much of a reason otherwise. Myles Garrett should be able to terrorize that line. I'm going Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cleveland. Also, I think Jacoby Brissett, for as immobile as he is, was good today. Obviously, I would say that they didn't win in spite of Jacoby Brissett. I think it was in spite of just the Jets, not the Jets getting lucky, but that onside kick, you get lucky there. It went their way. Everything was went the Jets' way today. So I think the Browns obviously should have won that, but they dropped it. But I think they'll play the Steelers. I think they'll win this game. Again, I don't know why Pickett hasn't. I guess it's been only 2 weeks, but I think Pickett should start to get tested out soon, even if it's not for full games. I honestly think Pickett is miles ahead of Trubisky, especially, and these past 2 weeks have reassured that for me. Although Trubisky wasn't horrible week 1. But again, it's kind of the thing where it's like, what really is your ceiling with Trubisky? And I think it's pretty low. But I think with Pickett, you might find something else there. But again, I think the Browns will win this game. I think it's a Steelers offensive line that generally has found trouble, especially with Myles Garrett, and a defensive line that's good. We can't forget, it's a very good, obviously today doesn't back this up, but it's a, roster wise, a very talented Browns defense. So I think they'll be able to go against a division rival and get the win there. But that's a tough one. It starts off tough. I think the Steelers can win it as well, but my gut says Browns here. But now we move on to another very good matchup. So we record these on Sunday nights. So the Bills have not played we haven't seen the Bills play in a long time since obviously the opener against LA, but what an opener that was. And Dylan, I know you're shaking in your boots right now because the Bills face the Dolphins. And unfortunately for the Dolphins, this is not a team that they can let up 35 points to and then just come back. I think the Bills will handily beat the Dolphins here. But Dylan, I'll give you that. I hate on Tua a lot. 6 touchdowns today. I think Tua was very, very accurate. I think he went down. He drove well. I think the Dolphins deserve that win today. I think they were the better offense. I think they played very well. That being said, I think the throws were underthrown, but a touchdown's a touchdown. But I think. Yeah, I'm not going to start it, but it's a touchdown's a touchdown. We'll leave it there. But
I'm just going to end it right now. I don't see any other quarterback in the league who can throw 6 touchdowns and then get their throws criticized. I've never seen that before. I don't.
It's not criticizing, but it's just.
No, it is criticizing. It's not you specifically, but there are people all over the internet that are saying Tyreek Hill bailed him out. Jalen Waddle bailed him out. Just give the man some respect.
No, but I did.
Mahomes gets a lot of that too. I'm not like Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and there's all the Travis Kelce bailed him out. Tyreek Hill bailed him out.
Not to the
quarterbacks. No. I'm with Dylan.
I'm not saying to the same degree, but quarterbacks get that. It's not just Tua.
No,
but I think Tua. I think it's Tua that more than anyone.
No, Dylan, I will agree.
It happens to every quarterback.
Tua's definitely more than everyone, and I'm a proud supporter to that cause. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, I'm going to pick the Bills before anyone gets the wrong idea here. But I would like to check off a couple of boxes of things people say.
And I think you should. I think you should, because I think
I'd like to check off a couple of boxes. Box number 1, can't outduel an elite quarterback. Done. Box number 2, can't throw the ball deep. Done. Box number 3, can't win in a shootout. Done. Box number 4, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill won't play well with him. Done. That's all I'm gonna.
No one said Jalen Waddle. People did say Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
But Dylan, I think, and again, this is just me being the nitpicky guy with Tua, but looking at those throws, like they were underthrown. They were.
But they still hit the target.
I know.
It wasn't an underthrow that jeopardized the catch. It just wasn't a perfect.
But I'm saying you put someone like that's not the fastest player in the NFL to catch those balls. He might get. Or no, besides the one he caught it in the end zone, basically the one against Marcus Peters, but that one after. If there's a slow receiver, I do think Tyreek Hill is definitely, obviously, we know that is boosting Tua.
Tyreek Hill makes any quarterback look better.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's all there is to it.
But that being said, that throw doesn't go to Tyreek Hill if it's not Tyreek Hill. That throw goes somewhere else. So
I'm arguing something that's not very valid. I'm very cognizant of that, but I'm gonna go Bills. I already said that. I think, but I do think it'll be a good game. I mean, you said I've been proven wrong. At least so far, the Dolphins shot, we're in a shootout today and they won it. So I think the Dolphins can score points. It's a very good Bills defense, though.
I would like to just say why I think the Bills will win. I'm not just saying the Bills because they're the better roster. I think the Bills just have Miami's number. Miami have not beaten Buffalo since the 2018 season. I don't expect that to change just because Josh Allen is I would say arguably the best player in football right now.
Yeah, so, I think tomorrow night will definitely concerned, but I think you're right.
And no matter how well Tua Tagovailoa did today, and no matter how excited I can get about that 6 touchdown performance, it's not going to be enough to be able to convince me that they can let up that amount of points against this Bills team.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this was originally my upset pick. I was originally going to go Dolphins here, I think at the beginning of the season. But then I saw the Bills week 1, and they looked unstoppable. But what I told Dylan was that even though I'm not a huge supporter of Tua, I'm not really anti-Tua, but what I'd say is that I told him because Dylan, I remember when Lamar had that like 76-yard touchdown, I said the game is never over. When
I said it was over. He said it was still on.
Jalen Waddle. So my issue is I don't think either offense is going to be stopped because I think I don't think even the Bills won't be able to stop Hill and Waddle, but I don't think the Dolphins will be able to stop Josh Allen. And I'm just going to give it to Buffalo just because I just think they have a little bit of an edge on an offense, but I'm not confident in either team. I think these are both two very good teams, two playoff teams, in my opinion, but I'm going to give it to Buffalo. Close though.
Dylan, stop smiling.
I'm smiling.
I can't quite agree with what you're saying, Serge. I don't think that this game is going to be a shootout. I don't think that the Dolphins, even though they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I think that generally when you get shootouts, it's two teams of comparable skill levels. And the Dolphins right now, I agree with you. I think the Dolphins are a good team right now. The Bills are the best team in football right now.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And nobody just gets into shootouts with the Bills unless they're Patrick Mahomes. Like, it doesn't happen.
I would like to just dismiss one theory before people get the wrong idea. I don't think that the Dolphins are going to turn into some shootout team. I think that was just a fluke of the game. So
no, I understand that. But Serge is saying that he thinks neither offense will be stoppable in this game. And I
think they'll get a few stops. I think with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I would say I would be more confident in Buffalo if they had Tre'Davious White, but I just don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it right now. This definitely could be on upset alert. If you really think about the problems that the Bills have been caused by fast receivers, especially Tyreek Hill, I think this could be.
Are you guys gonna sway me? Are you guys gonna sway me? I might be thinking a little biased. I'm not going to let my biases show. I'm going to stay with the Bills.
But I think
it's on upset alert.
I'm not going to put this game on upset alert because I think I'm going to pick the Bills in all 17 games this season.
That's just boring.
I think, call me boring, but the Bills.
I'm going to call you boring because that's boring.
Oh, so be it. I'm getting a better record than you. I just think that the Bills right now are too good for the Dolphins to beat. If I'm the Dolphins, this is a game that I'm going into hopeful. We're 2-0. I'm very hopeful that we can, show that we're not some team that's just beat two crappy teams. I know the Ravens aren't a crappy team. But, to actually put up points against the Bills and hold the Bills to under 30 is impressive. So I think the Dolphins will have a lot to prove in this game, but they're not good enough to beat the Bills in this game. It's just not happening.
Prove you wrong.
All right. See. Dylan, you picked the Bills too.
I know.
Boring.
All right.
But we will move on now to the Cincinnati Bengals versus the New York Jets. And historically, and by that, I mean last year, this has not been a very good matchup. The Bengals have not been very good against backup quarterbacks in the New York Jets.
Yeah.
The Bengals have looked terrible.
The Bengals have not been good against backup quarterbacks.
I was about to say that. The Bengals have been horrible.
They lost to Mitch Trubisky and Cooper Rush. Two of those are both arguably backup caliber.
That being said, Cooper Rush looked better than Dak Prescott, but I digress.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. I think you put Dak Prescott on that game. I'm not sure if the Cowboys would have easily
Well, they
won.
run their offense very differently when Dak plays.
No, but I think I'm with Kean here. I don't think that Dak Prescott is. I mean.
He's not.
I've never been a huge fan of Dak.
I'm super scared to say this because it sounds dumb, but he kind of sucks.
Yeah,
that's just dumb.
But it's not sucks, but it's like every time, like, oh yeah, it's Dak, and then I'm like, what? Like he's like,
it's like, why are people so excited?
Why are so excited? Yeah,
Dak Prescott is a very erratic quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
Dak Prescott does a lot of things very well, and there's a lot of things.
I don't see that
he looked like an elite.
Often.
I remember it was like a year or two ago where he got that insane stretch, and then he broke his ankle against the Giants, and he just hasn't looked the same since.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt this, but this is not the Cowboys game.
I was about to say
that is true. That's true.
Let's get back to it. Bengals Jets.
Again, I think it's kind of one of those games where I think the Bengals are going to come out, and I mean, if you start the season 0-3, I think the Bengals can kind of, dare I say, like that's the when he gets to 0-3, that's definitely serious. But I can't pick against the Bengals here. But again, I just think the Jets seem to have the Bengals number, and they look fantastic. The Jets rookies really stepped up against the Browns, but I'm gonna go Bengals here. But this would probably be my upset of the week if I were to pick one. I really think the Jets could win this game.
Yeah, I can't believe we won, but I just had to say that I'm just so happy. Reason why I was looking forward to this predictions, but yeah, I think this is basically, I think the Jets are a pretty bad matchup for the Bengals because I'm gonna say that I'm just gonna say this before I'll get out of the way. I'm picking the Bengals to win, but all I'm gonna say is that the Jets are not a good matchup for the Bengals because the Bengals offensive line, despite all the additions, has looked bad. And the Jets have a pretty deep pass rushing group, which has some talent. You got Quinn Williams, you got JFM, you got Carl Lawson, you got a bunch of guys behind them who can get pressure on the quarterback, as you saw week 1 against the Ravens, and not really as much against the Browns, but the Bengals don't have good offensive line. And they really prioritize throwing the ball deep. And what the Jets defense does, and what we saw the Browns exploit, was really throwing underneath and getting that short game going. And really, you like to see Joe Burrow try and hit Jamar on some of those 9 routes, T. Higgins on some of those 9 routes, and he'll probably do that still, but I don't think they'll really take advantage as much of the underneath game. And I think that could really pose some problems. But with all that, and obviously I think the Jets offense, you've got receivers like Garrett Wilson, who looked incredible.
Fantastic.
He looked fantastic. He might be the best rookie receiver so far. I think
it's Drake London.
It's Drake London, Jahan Dotson, or him. I think it's those 3 are probably
Wandale Robinson. I mean, I'm just saying.
But
I don't know if he has a catch.
I think Garrett Wilson could have another big game. I think Elijah Moore, will also have a solid game. But I think the Bengals, they're just going to be mad. Going 0-2, Joe Burrow, an angry Joe Burrow and angry Bengals going into MetLife. I think they'll win, sadly. So I'm going to be realistic, but I'm just saying it's not a great matchup for the Bengals.
It's not.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to be honest. I think we're overlooking what happened last season. I think last season, the Jets won this game, and it was a fluke victory. Great game for the Jets, but it was a fluke victory. Bengals have started the season off really poorly, and they know that if they want to be a playoff team in this stacked AFC, they have to turn it around now, and they cannot go 0-3 playing against a New York team. That's just like, it's not going to happen. I have to take the Bengals in this one. I don't think this is a massive upset pick right here. I don't think the Jets are good enough right now to beat the Bengals. Hey, we've said it before. It could happen. It definitely could happen. But it could happen just as much as any other game. So I'm gonna have to take the Bengals in this one. I'm confident in this pick.
All right, so let's imagine something real quick. The Jets are a bag of feathers, and the Bengals are a baseball bat. The Bengals are gonna keep on hitting that bag of feathers until it explodes.
So one hit.
I'm gonna say bag of feathers can last more than one hit. But
I don't think the bag of feathers is a good example.
I would say
I don't know why I don't know why I thought
bag of feathers. How do you even destroy a bag of feathers?
Pinata. All right, my bad. The Jets
bag
are
of feathers. If we're a bag of feathers.
Hang on. Can we let him finish? Because I'm really confused.
All right. The Jets. I'm gonna rephrase. Thank you for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets are a pinata.
Okay.
The Bengals are the baseball bat. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are both the person swinging the bat.
Okay.
So they're gonna just ram them apart. Yeah, that's gonna be.
I don't think it'll be that bad.
I think it's gonna be horrible. It's a game.
Okay.
Nothing like Dylan's random.
Random. Pretty sure you picked the Bengals there, but let's move on.
We'll move on now to the Raiders and the Titans. The Raiders losing a heartbreaker at Allegiant Stadium as the Cardinals win. Again, a game that you thought the Raiders had, and then just at the end, the pendulum swung against them. And the Titans, who did the Titans win? Oh, the Titans have still to play. Excuse me.
They play the Bills.
Be a
loss, I think.
Hey,
if I'm wrong, flip it.
Yeah, but no, I think you're right. I think it's a Raiders team that it's kind of the same with the Broncos. It's like, and the Broncos obviously won, but it's like this division was so highly touted. Like, it was absurd how good people thought these teams would be. And again, but the Raiders just didn't look great. And again, I think we all knew that the defensively and especially secondary wise and besides kind of that front four, it was not as strong, but they just didn't look great. I mean, that was a Cardinals team they should have beat. It's not a very good Arizona team, especially at home. I think the Raiders should have went in and won that game. And against a Titans team, I think they will get the win. But again, you got Derrick Henry there. I think Derrick Henry will cause this defense a lot of problems. And obviously you still have Devontae Adams and things like that. But I think it's a Titans team that definitely will make this a game. This won't be a blowout. I think this will be toe to toe throughout the 4 quarters. Baba, go Raiders.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Titans going into this year. I think it's Derrick Henry is that offense. Losing a guy like AJ Brown is just such a tough loss. And they really, the receivers, Treylon Burks, depending on a rookie, and then depending on
Robert Woods.
He was good, but he's coming off a torn ACL. It just doesn't sit right with me. Defense, I think really losing Harold Landry is such a huge loss for them. And I think their pass rush just is not at all the same without him. And I think the Raiders are just overall, they're not a very complete team either, but they've got a lot more star power. They got Devontae Adams, and I think that's going to be the difference. Give me the Raiders here.
Yeah, I think what I have to fault the Raiders on this week was something the Dolphins actually did really well. And that's generally when you have a star player like Devontae Adams or Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, you do your best to try and get them the ball as many times in a game as possible. I think the Dolphins did that really, really well this week, giving the ball to Tyreek and Waddle when they needed to. And the Raiders didn't do that. The Raiders in overtime threw the ball to Hunter Renfrow twice, and he fumbled both of them. And I think that, and then Derek Carr missed a throw to Devontae Adams. I think when the ball's in Devontae Adams' hands, they have a much, much better chance of winning. I think that the Raiders will realize that. I think Devontae was only targeted 4 or 5 times today, which is just not enough for a receiver that is as good as Devontae Adams. But I think Derrick Henry will scare this Raiders defense. I'm going to pick the Raiders, though, in this one. I think it'll be close.
I don't really understand the correlation between the Devontae Adams and the Raiders in the overtime segment, because I think they tried to scheme him open and he just wasn't open. So they found that secondary route of Hunter Renfrow. I wouldn't say that they weren't
threw
really
a screen pass to Hunter Renfrow, so it takes about half a second to get the ball out, and he fumbled. So they let a play develop. Devontae Adams is the best route runner in the league. You're telling
route runner.
You're telling me that Devontae Adams was never
No,
open
wait,
once?
Hold on. I'm not gonna let you get away.
Yeah, you can't
with
just
it.
get
You
away
just
with that. You said the best route runner in the league. Charlie's just confused now.
Wait,
sorry, bro. We had to take a moment and just think that in.
What?
What?
Do you not know what you
not
did
get it?
No, I see it, but like,
You have to take a moment and sink it in.
It's not that big a
Okay.
deal.
No, it is that
really-
big a deal.
so why is it that big of a deal? Can you explain that?
It's pronounced route. You see, the O and the U pronounced to an ow sound, so that's where the big deal is.
Learning.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that affected my pick.
it does. It does.
Devontae Adams, either way, is the best route runner in the league.
No.
I
Say
let
it
him go.
right.
Let him
Say
go.
it
Let
right.
him go.
No,
Let
say
him
it
go.
right. Say
Let
it
him
right.
go. Let
Say
him
it
go.
right.
So Devontae Adams is the best at running those little things you call them. I don't remember what you call them, but
Okay, that's
Devontae
fine.
Adams does that really, really well, and he's the best at it. And you're telling me that he wasn't open once in overtime?
No, he definitely was, but I think they were scheming him open and they tried to find Hunter Renfrow on at least the second one where he fumbled, or it might have been the first one. Not the one, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that they were trying to scheme him open and they just found Renfrow anyway.
Well, but they should be finding Devontae.
But they were scheming him open and it wasn't open.
So you're telling me he wasn't open?
Yes, they were trying to scheme him open and he wasn't open. So they went to Renfrow.
You're telling me that of all the times in overtime, the best route runner in the league was not open once.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there were throws where they probably schemed towards Devontae Adams and he wasn't open. So they threw to Renfrow. I don't see the correlation between them not
So
throwing.
was he
Adams.
open or was he not?
I'd need to see the all 22 specifically, but I don't think that it was they didn't throw it to Devontae Adams, therefore they lost. I think it was they.
Well, I think that's exactly what it is. I think if you're putting the ball in your playmaker's hands, you're more likely to win the
And
game.
that's what's called an opinion, and you can't argue against someone's opinion. So let's
Yeah.
move on.
Fair enough. Yeah.
All right,
All
to
right.
next
Hey, I didn't even
game.
give my
Oh,
winner.
sorry.
Yet.
Okay.
I didn't even. Yeah, I'm gonna go Titans because I think Derrick Henry's better. There it is.
All right.
Does he run good routes?
That's okay. Now we move on to our next game where we have and Dylan, speaking of saying things wrong, say New Orleans.
I'm going to say it again.
Yeah, exactly.
New
so
Orleans.
You can't even,
It's
yeah,
New
so you
Orleans,
can't-
bro.
Exactly.
Stop.
So you
I
can't
mean,
even
you can't talk
So you
now.
can't even talk.
You
That's what I'm
can't talk,
saying.
bro. You
All
can't
right. Have
say
any of
New
you guys been to
Orleans.
New Orleans?
No.
Thought so.
What's
the relevance here?
Yeah.
That
I've been to
doesn't
New
mean it's
Orleans,
right.
so therefore I have more New Orleans in me. Yeah.
No,
there you
that's
go.
not how it works.
All
But they
right,
play
all
the
right.
Panthers in what should be a quite boring game.
Easy game to predict. I said all along, Panthers are frauds.
I'm gonna go Saints. Yeah, I'm gonna go. This is an easy one for me. I'm
Yeah.
going.
I mean, I
Gibbs
know they,
on
I mean, I think the
fraud.
only issue is if Jameis is not 100% healthy because that offense didn't look good. But the Bucs are a good defense. Panthers aren't as good of a defense. Baker he's not really like you guys said. You guys said it. He's not like he's just gonna come out there and everyone's like, oh yeah, Baker redemption does nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Saints
Yeah,
win.
the Panthers just straight up didn't look good today. I don't see anything really in their future. I'm going Saints.
I can say the Panthers look pretty good defensively, but the Saints are going to win this game. The
Yeah.
Saints are a better
It's
team
again-
right
I
now.
mean,
I don't think the Panthers look super atrocious, but they were not good enough. Clearly.
There we have it. And now we move on to another game, another all right game. Not fantastic. We have the Ravens playing the Patriots. Obviously, the Patriots getting a surprising win today. I expected the Steelers to win. Obviously, Nelson Aguilar had an absolutely phenomenal catch over at Kello Witherspoon.
I
And
was stunned by that.
Yeah, that was a
Nelson
fantastic
Aguilar
catch.
of all people.
It's crazy. Nelson Aguilar's always been a good receiver. You guys hated too much. Nelson Aguilar's
I
always
mean,
been-
yeah, I think the receivers. It's funny. The receivers who drop the most passes are usually the good receivers because they.
Have you
get
seen that
open a
clip
lot.
of the guy from Philadelphia who caught the baby off of a
Oh
bucket
yeah,
and
we was
said
catching
Aguilar
him.
would have
Unlike
dropped it?
Aguilar.
I caught it. Unlike
probably would've.
Aguilar.
all right.
Rick Hands Aguilar, like, come on.
It's a
But,
fun combo.
I don't know. I just don't think Mac Jones will be able to go toe to toe with Lamar Jackson. That's kind of where I think this game will make its decision for itself. I think this game is predetermined. But I'm gonna go Ravens. I think it's unfortunately just a bad matchup for the Patriots. I don't like how this Patriots team will be able to defend this Ravens team. But I think the Ravens will win this one handedly.
Yeah, Ravens coming off a soul-crushing loss to Miami where their defense underperformed. The perfect recipe to recover from that is a Matt Patricia offense. I don't see really them doing anything against the Ravens defense, although it didn't look good. It's against a good Miami team, a much worse New England team. I think Lamar will still have a good week, and yeah, give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Keen. I don't think Mac Jones can go toe to toe with Lamar Jackson, but at the same time, I didn't think that Tua could go toe to toe with Lamar Jackson. I thought that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle could go toe to toe with the Ravens receivers easily. But Tua and Lamar, there's a clear better quarterback there, but Tua was still able to do it. I think Mac Jones might be able to perform well, but I'm gonna have to take the Ravens in this one. I don't think the Patriots are gonna be as good this season. But yeah, they'll always be a decent team with Belichick as the head coach.
Yeah, I don't want to think of this one as a quarterback battle because we know who the better quarterback is, and the Ravens have lost games that they've been playing against inferior quarterbacks. I'm not even just saying this one specifically, but I'm thinking of this one more coaching wise. And I think Belichick is going to scheme his team, no rhyme intended, to defend against Lamar Jackson running. And what's going to kill them is that they're going to have J.K. Dobbins against them again. And I think J.K. Dobbins back is going to be what puts the Ravens over the line. Also putting into effect that the defense will be like 15% healthier. Maybe Kyle Hamilton will know how to defend a go route by then. So we'll see, but I don't see the Patriots being able to out scheme the Ravens defense. And I don't see Greg Roman being able to out really. Now I'm conflicting myself.
God damn it.
Can I say I think that Bill Belichick can out scheme anybody?
I don't think so.
Not anymore.
I don't think he can anymore.
I think he absolutely can. The
Yeah, but
team's
Charlie,
not
it's
good
just
enough right
it's
now.
not even that. It's just a matter of personnel. Like he just doesn't.
No,
have
but
the
I think
yeah,
personnel
I
to
think
do
that
so.
Belichick can come up with some master scheme that would beat the Ravens. However, Mac Jones and the offense will not be able to execute it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
He
gonna
can
go
out
Ravens.
scheme
I'm
anybody.
gonna take John Harbaugh. Wow, I just
Harbaugh, please
John
don't
Harbaugh.
talk to me about pronunciation
Yeah, it's like
ever again.
Top 10 worst stutters. I've seen some of them just like God damn, like
Damn it.
I'm gonna take John Harbaugh over Bill Belichick in this game. I'm not taking the personnel. I'm taking the coaching.
And I would take the personnel also.
I'm taking the personnel. I'm absolutely
No,
not.
I'm taking the personnel as well, but I think what's going to win them
in
the game is the coaching. I think what's going to win them the game is
we've all got the Ravens. No point arguing this. Move on to the next game.
There we go. We'll move on to the next one where we have another, I think, more interesting game as the Lions play the Vikings. The Vikings have yet to play. The Lions have looked very good though. So it looks like a very good Lions team. Amon-Ra St. Brown was absolutely fantastic today. I just can't wait to see what this offense does when Jameson Williams returns, which hopefully will happen soon. And obviously, DeAndre Swift looked great. I think the backfield's very good. It's an offensive line that's arguably the best in the NFL. And defensively, I think there's been improvements. Aiden Hutchinson, go check out the film analysis I did on him. 3 sacks today. He was absolutely fantastic. Right place, right time kind of sacks. He was great today. This is going to be a close one. The Vikings, I think, are going to win this division. The Vikings look great against the Packers. Again, we haven't seen them play yet as they are playing tomorrow. But I'm going to go for the Vikings here. I think it'll be a toe-to-toe game, though. I think the Lions could win this, but I think the Vikings will just be able to – I wouldn't say it'll either be a blowout or close. And I think the Vikings will be on the winner side of that.
Yeah. I think – who's had a sneaky, very good season? Jeff Okudah. He is locked down back-to-back. He locked down week 1. Who was it?
A.J. Brown.
No, it was
155 yards.
No, he was on Devontae Smith.
He was on Devontae Smith. And
Okay,
Devontae
so
Smith
who didn't have a single
catches.
catch. And then he locked down Terry McLaurin next week. So I would say but the problem is this week he has to go against Justin Jefferson. And
Justin Jefferson doesn't go against cornerback ones like that. Justin Jefferson's like Cooper Kupp at this point. He's just running all over the field.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But I think overall, the point is, I think the Lions have an underrated secondary, and they might be able to actually do a bit against the Vikings. But then again, it's Justin Jefferson. Tough game. The Lions have I think they match up pretty well. But I just think, like I said, like Ian said, the Vikings are just a really good team. Looked really good against the Packers. So tough. Wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset, but give me the Vikings at home.
Yeah, I think the Lions, for me, are my sneaky wildcard team this year. I think the Vikings, this division, for me, should be the Vikings division to take. I think they could be a 12-win, 13-win team this year. I think the Lions could win 9-10 games, though. I think they could definitely have the 6th or 7th spot in the playoffs. I think, however, I'm going to go completely against your point, Serge. I think the Lions passing defense has just not looked good enough. A.J. Brown had 155 yards against this Lions secondary, and
it's
then
A.J. Brown.
Now it's Justin Jefferson. So
that's fair. That's fair. That's why I have the Vikings winning.
But then this week against the Commanders as well, Carson Wentz passed for, I believe, 330 yards this week.
A lot in garbage time. He also had an interception as well.
Okay, but an interception doesn't mean that their defense is good.
Yeah, sure, that's fair.
He had 330 yards, and then very spread out reception-wise. Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, both had 75-plus yards. I think that the Lions' defense is just not going to be good enough to contain both Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Now, I know Adam Thielen's on the back end of his career, but he's still a dangerous target. You can't just forget about him. I think Justin Jefferson will – I really like the Lions, and I think this could be a close game, but I think Justin Jefferson will tear this defense apart.
I wouldn't say, and I'm going to pick the Vikings, but I wouldn't say it's just going to be based on player again. I think all of us, and I think I'm guilty of this. I think everyone's guilty of this. We focus in too much on one player, and I would like to collectively put a stop to that. I think the group on the Vikings, the quarterback, the coaching, the receivers, the running backs, the line are what's going to put them over the offense. It is not Justin Jefferson. It's not Dalvin Cook. It is all of them. And I have been a very devout member of the Dan Campbell Church of Football, but that Church of Football has been giving up 30 points a game, and they're not going to beat the Vikings.
Dylan, okay, so obviously you picked the Vikings, and I agree with you, and I don't want to drag this on for too long, but looking at the player, when you have a game winner on your team, sometimes
the game winner is the game winner. The game winner is the game winner. That's who's going to get you that game-winning play, right? That's what Tyreek Hill is for the Dolphins.
No,
right?
that's not what I mean.
That's what
I mean,
Najee
when
Harris
your
is for
team
the
is struggling, you can still rely on this player to pull out a game and take a win from a team that you should not be beating.
All right, moving on to the next game. We have another divisional matchup between the Eagles and the Washington Commanders. The Commanders obviously falling to the Lions. The Eagles have yet to play. They will play tomorrow night. But again, I think it's a very interesting game. I think the Commanders, I think Wentz has actually looked decent. He hasn't looked awful. I think week 1, he looked very good. And again, Jahan Dotson looks good. Again, it's a team that, they're getting better each year. This is a better Washington team than it was last year. But the Eagles, again, we'll see what they do tomorrow night. But they look fantastic or fantastic's maybe a little strong because they let up a lot of points. But I'm gonna go for the Eagles here. This one I'm confident about.
Yeah, I think the Eagles, like I've said all year, they've looked like a really complete team. I don't know if I think the Eagles, like I've said all offseason, they're one of the most complete teams in football. Jalen Hurts, he looked pretty solid. He looked like a real good dual threat quarterback. Obviously, yet to see him against the Vikings, a better competition. We'll see. And going against the Commanders, who lost to the Lions, I think they're a good team, but they're not on the Eagles level. So, yeah, I think just too complete. Give me Philly.
I'm going to go Philadelphia as well. I didn't think the Commanders looked particularly special. I liked how they spread the ball out. I don't think Wentz had a bad game, but they didn't run the ball enough. The defense wasn't solid enough. And if Amon-Ra St. Brown can do what he did to the Commanders defense, I'm sure Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown can do similar. So I'm going Philly.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to go Philly. I'm not high on Washington or Carson Wentz right now. And Terry McLaurin hasn't looked good enough for me. I just don't love Washington so far this season. Prove me wrong if you want, but I'm going to take the Eagles on this one as well.
All right. I like it. I think that's where we've come to a consensus here. But now we move on to another game where the Kansas City Chiefs, who fell to, the Chiefs won. What am I talking about? I'm very used to them losing to the Chargers, but the Chiefs, who just came off a win Thursday night against the Chargers, electric game, no pun intended, as they now play the Colts, who, I think the Matt Ryan experiment is done before it even started.
Colts,
But
Sam Ellinger time?
seventh or eighth straight year with a new quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah. They just has not looked very good. This is a Chiefs win for me. This is a pretty comprehensible one to pick.
I said all along, I don't know why Matt Ryan was getting so much hype that, he's so much better than Carson Wentz. He in his prime, he's not in his prime. He's not a great quarterback necessarily. Colts have not looked good at all. A tie to the Texans, then a comprehensive getting shut out by the Jaguars. I had confidence that the Jaguars would win again in Jacksonville against the Colts, but shut out. Yeah, the Chiefs are much more complete and just a better team than the Jaguars. This isn't even going to be close. Give me the Chiefs.
Okay, but can we not blame Matt Ryan for this?
No, I'm not saying it's all Matt Ryan's fault.
Productive running back this week by a mile, and he's supposed to be the best in the game.
That's true. That is true.
Like
Matt Ryan threw 3 interceptions and 195 yards. A lot has to do.
He also held on to the ball way too long. He got sacked so many times that he could have just released it. He could have threw it away. I know he's a statue, but he could have done stuff differently.
100%.
They only gave Jonathan Taylor the ball 9 times. There's a game plan problem there. Jonathan Taylor should be getting 25.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I know 100% agree with that. I'm just saying that they acted like Matt Ryan could be that guy that they can take the pressure off Jonathan Taylor. He isn't that guy anymore.
When you're going against the guy, and I was hating on Trayvon Walker throughout the whole draft process, but when you're going against the defensive line with Trayvon Walker and you're down by that many points, you have to throw the ball. Maybe Jonathan Taylor's better off. Maybe you would rather have the clock run down and give it to Jonathan Taylor. Maybe that's your type of game plan. But in my opinion, throwing the ball was the right idea.
I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather just trust Jonathan Taylor. I don't really care how many points. Like, obviously, there's a certain point where you can't just run the ball, but for him to only be getting 9 touches
is crazy.
9 touches, that's way too little. Even in a game you're losing by 20 plus points, he should be getting 20 touches. Even if it's through the passing attack.
But early on, 9 touches, that's crazy.
9 touches. The Jaguars didn't score 20 in the first quarter. They had 7. He should be getting 9 touches in the first quarter. I'm sorry, but Jonathan Taylor is the best running back in the game, and 9 touches is just far too little.
No, I agree, but I would say that Matt Ryan shares some of the blame.
I'm not saying Matt Ryan's completely free of blame, but it's not just Matt Ryan's fault that they didn't get the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Off topic, the Chiefs are going to win this game. The Chiefs are better than the Colts. The Colts, they got shut out against the Jaguars. No team should get shut out against the Jaguars.
That's crazy.
Especially one with Jonathan Taylor on it.
The Jaguars are improved, but still, that's crazy.
They're improved, but they're still not a team that can shut you out. The only teams that gained shutouts last year, I think, were the Bills, potentially the Rams. I think the Bills might have been the only team to do it last year. And now the Jaguars are doing it in week 2 to Jonathan Taylor. I'm sorry, something's going wrong with the Colts, but have to go with the Chiefs.
I would like you guys to hold your horses a little bit on the Colts hate in a ways, because it's somewhat earned. They lost by 24 to the Jaguars. They got shut out, but they were missing Michael Pittman. They were missing Alec Pierce as receivers. Their wide receiver one today was Ashton Dulin. They were missing Shaquille Leonard on defense. They have been all season. So there's so much that they're missing that they have to bring back. I think losing.
I know, but okay, 2 receivers losing on offense, that's tough. But that doesn't excuse getting shut out to the Jaguars.
No, I agree.
It goes even more to my point. They need some head coaching change. Because if there's no,
I don't think Frank
your top 2 wide receivers, why would you only give Taylor 9 touches?
That's true.
It's even more reason to go to the ground.
Yeah, that makes no sense. I didn't even know he only got 9 touches.
I'm sorry. That's 9 touches in one game from Jonathan Taylor is an outrage.
Even if
there's something wrong.
Even if they had both the receivers, 9 touches is absurd.
Going on though, bringing back Michael Pittman, bringing back Shaquille Leonard, that should be able to help them make it more close of a game.
I still think they'll win the division, but that's just how bad this division is.
I think the Jaguars have an outside chance. I think the Jaguars.
They've got a chance for sure. They for sure have a chance.
I think the Jaguars right now look like the best team in the division, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs to win.
Yeah. Okay. Next game.
All right. Now we move on to, this might be a boring one, but
bro, the Texans.
Not a boring one. I like the Texans, but it's just
not fun to watch.
Yeah,
they're a good team.
It's the Texans against the Bears.
They're not a good team.
Okay,
good team.
They still could be the second best team in the division though.
Yeah.
I mean, never know. But again, I think we'll see what the Bears do against the Packers. I don't expect much, but to me, it's just a Texans team that I think as a team is much more fluid than a Chicago team. I think that they should be able to drive against the Bears. That being said, I think Justin Fields will be able to drive against the Texans. We've yet to see a Dameon Pierce breakout game. I think this could be that game. But I'm gonna go Texans here. Again, games like this, I find them very easy to predict. I think the Texans just as a team are much more fluid. I think they'll be able to kind of shred through this Bears defense.
I'm gonna go Bears just because I think Justin Fields, he's looked first game, obviously it was a tough start and the stats don't look good on paper, but you have to understand the conditions, and he looked like a winner. Like he led the team back in terrible conditions, down double scores against the Niners to win that. That definitely counts for something. I think his dual threat ability is going to be dangerous. So far, they're losing 7-10, but he is 3 for 3 for 33 yards. So I know it's early, but it looks good so far. And I think being home, I think will definitely contribute to the Bears. They look so far better than what all the media analysts and even some of us here have been saying about them being the worst team in the league. I think it'll be close, and I really like the Texans still, but I think the Bears are a team that I think can get another upset win, especially at home. I think give me them over the Texans.
I'm not going to say I'm a Texans hater, but I can't say I love the Texans. I'm actually going to agree with you, Serge. I think the Bears, I'm going to take the Bears in this one. The Bears are at home. I don't like the Texans going up to Chicago and winning this one. I think the Bears rushing attack will prove a lot for the Texans to try and beat. And I think if the Bears can run the clock down, Justin Fields and David Montgomery, I think it's going to be a hard one for the Texans to outscore them in. And I'm going to take the Bears in this one, though. This game really could go either way. We could see a Texans blowout.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good defensive battle because I think both of these teams have underrated defenses and underwhelming offenses. So we're going to really see a battle of 2 solid defenses. And I would say solid. I wouldn't say good. I would say solid. And I'm going to hand it to Houston because I think they have just more connectivity throughout their whole team, because I feel like the Bears defense is so far from where they could be. I think they have a lot of talent on that team. I think Roquan Smith is not at his full potential. I think Jalen Johnson not at his full potential, and they've got a lot of guys, Brisker, Kyler Gordon. Once they become Eddie Jackson, once they become gelled together, and I think that'll happen later on in the season, they'll start winning games. But I think the Texans are pretty much at their high point, and that's kind of sad, but it's what it is. And they're going to go out and they're going to win this game.
All right. I like it. Now we move on. Actually, no. You know what? I overreact here. It's the Jaguars play the Chargers. This is just, to me, I think it's 2, again, similar quarterbacks in terms of this. And again, I'm not saying similar in terms of talent or at least success, but Trevor Lawrence looked very good. Today was his best game he's played in his NFL season so far. He looked very good today. in terms of kind of, Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, I'd say attributes wise are pretty similar quarterbacks. Obviously, Justin Herbert has had a lot more success and is obviously the better quarterback, but I think this will be a very interesting battle. I want to see these quarterbacks toe to toe. I believe we have not seen them play each other yet in the NFL, unless I'm wrong. If they played last year, but if I'm right, they have not. This is an easy one to pick the Chargers, but I do think the Jaguars can make a game of it in some sense. I think the Chargers will most likely win by a score or two, but I think it'll be a good game. I'm very excited to see these two young quarterbacks who are kind of similar in style, go up against each other.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers here. Although I think if Jacksonville were at home, this screams Chargers trap game, because having last year the Texans, Jaguars have looked okay so far. It would scream it, but I think they're better. The Chargers are just a more complete, just explosive team on both sides of the ball. Give me the Chargers here.
I think I'm gonna go Chargers as well. It's not a far game. I think the Jaguars have put the pieces together. Doug Peterson's been doing an excellent job. He almost came in and won that game against Washington in the opener. I just think it would be too good to be true for them to go out and beat a true playoff contender. I'm not going to go out and pick them to win this game, no matter how much I may be tempted. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to start to agree with you by saying I don't dislike the Jaguars this year. I think the Jaguars have looked good, but the Jaguars won a game against a really crappy Colts and then lost to Washington as well. So I don't think that the Jaguars have had a real test yet. And while they performed well against the Colts, they shut them out. That's a feat. I don't think they've played against a team as good as that's very clear. They have not played against a team as good as the Chargers. They have not played against a quarterback as good as Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is a winner. Justin Herbert knows what he's doing out there. Justin Herbert throws lasers while hurt.
I think he'll play.
Justin Herbert should be good to go.
Should be good to go.
If he's not, then this is a different conversation. I still might take the Chargers, but Justin Herbert is, so far this season has looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Top 3, top 5, definitely. Justin Herbert is a pretty incredible player.
Yeah,
and I have to go with the Chargers.
Even though it's only been one game, I would say it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Tua, Justin Herbert this season.
Yeah. You're just
ain't no way you just said yeah.
I don't know. I just check out sometimes. I didn't hear Tua. I heard Herbert. To be fair though, the stats are on his side, I guess.
Stop.
I'm just saying this is the one time where Dylan has the inklest. That's not even a word. The slightest bit of an argument, but Tua is not an MVP candidate. He's still bad. And we'll move on now to one of the better games, although two kind of underperforming teams. The Rams should have beat the Falcons by much more, as the Rams play the Cardinals, teams that both won, both coming off losses in week 1. I think this should be a very interesting game. That being said, I think it's a Rams game that they should handle very easily. I think this should be a Rams win. I think physically on defense, they're just much more imposing. And I think against a Cardinals offense that I would kind of define as small, and no, that's not because their focal point, like their quarterback, is small, but I just see them as kind of a smaller offense. So I think it's a Rams win. But again, the Cardinals look good. I think they showed a lot. They fought a lot of adversity this week. I think Kyler Murray played fantastic against the Raiders, and they beat a very good Raiders team. So I definitely could see the Cardinals winning, but kind of just going with my gut here. I think the Rams take this one.
This is my upset pick. I'm going to go Cardinals. And it's just because I'm not convinced by the Rams at all. They got torched in the opener by the Bills. Did not even look like a playoff team that opening game. And I know it's the Bills, but they didn't look good at all. Stafford looked awful. The offense besides Kupp looked awful. The defense besides Donald looked awful. And then you've got the Falcons game where they start off really well, and then they just collapse. And again, it's like they had to rely on Jalen Ramsey, late interception, Kupp fumbled. Stafford again didn't look great. I'm not really convinced by this team. And the Cardinals last year, they when they played the Rams earlier, they absolutely cooked them. And I think Kyler Murray, he proved that he probably right now is a top 10 quarterback. And I think going against a Rams team that again just looks so shaky, I'm going to go Cardinals here. Upset pick. I think it could backfire, but I think it's my hot take.
So I'm going to disagree. I think while the Rams, I 100% agree, have not looked good at all this season, I think the Cardinals should not have won that game today. The holding call in the end zone was complete BS. I didn't see anything. And they just should not have gotten that 1st and goal. But I think that the Cardinals could definitely make this a game. The Rams have looked really bad so far, and Kyler Murray has definitely showed a lot of fight. However, I think Josh McDaniels is just not Sean McVay. I think the game plan for the Rams coming into this game will be very different than the Raiders. The Raiders did not know how to defend Kyler Murray. They kept sending 3-4 guys at Kyler, and they let Kyler run around and have his way. And with Aaron Donald on a defensive line, that's not going to happen. Kyler's not going to just have his way with the Rams defensive line and with their linebacking core the same way he did with the Raiders. So I think Kyler Murray, we've seen he can have really big games and then he can go completely quiet. And I think this might be one where he goes completely quiet.
So
very possible.
So I haven't been convinced by the Rams defense this season. I think they looked horrible against Buffalo, and they definitely looked horrible against Atlanta. So as bad as the Arizona offensive line is, I think the defensive line of LA has been worse.
Besides Aaron Donald.
But they have Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald hasn't looked like himself this season. And I know he's an amazing player.
No, that's true. I was going to say that.
He's still Aaron Donald, though.
No, he still is Aaron Donald.
But I think the elusiveness of Kyler and the fact that they're always going to be in the gun is really that air raid offense where they're going to be getting the ball out quicker, I think.
Can you stop making my points for me? I agree.
My fault.
I agree with you. I think
you're just there. I'm just right there, man.
But I think the Cardinals are going to win. I'm not convinced by the Rams, and they just didn't look good either game. Cooper Kupp can't be an entire offense. You need other people with you. No matter how much you can try to make your entire offense Cooper Kupp, there needs to be other outlets, other options, and there just hasn't been so far. Arizona will be able to mute it to some degree, like every other team has. So give me the Cardinals.
All right, we move on now to again, it's so funny. I feel like this year there really has been a switch in talent of teams. Packers Buccaneers will be a game of the season. It's really not even the game of the week. It's the Buccaneers just, obviously I know they got the win, but I think and the Packers as well. It's just two teams that have not looked very good. That being said, this Buccaneers interior offensive line has been terrible. Their starters are retired or on different teams, and then their backups are injured. So they have some obviously not ready kind of guys in that interior of the offensive line. It's obviously incredibly important when you have a old man back there because you need to protect him. And I think that's why the Bucs have had so much success, because that offensive line has been so good. And the Packers, again, I know these are all kind of quick judgments considering the Packers have literally played, they're playing the Bears right now, which we assume that they will win. But this is a tough one for me to predict. Although I don't think it's the game it would be a year ago. I'm very torn on this. I'm going to go for Tampa Bay, though. That's where I think my head's at right now.
I'm going to go Tampa Bay as well, just because that defense looks so good right now. They shut down two solid teams in Dallas and New Orleans. I know James had that back fracture, but I think still great defense. And that's what's going to win them the game again. I think obviously this is a Packers offense missing Devontae Adams. They surely missed them against the Vikings week 1. Again, still 10-7 against the Bears. I don't know how that'll go, but it's obviously not the same offense. And I think they really are going to rely on the run with Dillon and Jones. But the problem is Tampa Bay have Vita Vea, and that's just, they're not going to be able to run the ball the same way. And I think Brady, again, I don't think he's even going to be that impressive, but I think it's just going to be enough again to beat the Packers.
Yeah, the question of this game is going to be which defense does enough to win their aging quarterback the game. And that's not to disrespect Aaron Rodgers. He's won two MVPs in a row, playing pretty well right now. But it is to disrespect Tom Brady, because I don't think he's looked good this season, and I think the defense has bailed him out in both games. I think I'm going to give it to the Buccaneers because I've been more convinced by their defense. Obviously, the Packers didn't look good in their first game, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Packers came through with it. Give me the Bucs, though.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Buccaneers. An interesting clean sweep here because these are two, as you said, Kian, top teams last year.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take the Bucs. Two very unconvincing wins for the Buccaneers so far. But with Vita Vea, Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett, that's just a hard defense to get past, to get through, especially without a playmaker like Devontae Adams. They've clearly been missing him this season in the game and a half they've played. But I think, as you said, Serge, they're going to want to utilize Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and they're going to have a really hard time of it. So I'm going to take the Bucs.
Yeah. All right. Now we move on to the last game of the 425 window as we have the Seahawks playing the Falcons. The Seahawks obviously falling to the San Francisco 49ers this past week, and obviously a game that I thought the Seahawks would be able to win, but Geno Smith didn't look as good as he did against the Broncos. The Falcons looked very, very good. Not very good, but they showed again some fight. And I think it was a game that obviously didn't go their way at the end with the Jalen Ramsey interception, but that defense, they showed up. It was a team that showed up at SoFi. Although the Rams never seem to have fans. It sounds louder when the Falcons make plays. But again, I mean, Drake London, I think, has been the best rookie receiver. He's looked absolutely fantastic. I think the first receiver to have 5 receptions and 70+ yards in his first 2 games since Stephon Diggs in 2015. So he's been very, very good. Again, Kyle Pitts, I know, Dylan, because if you guys don't know Dylan, it's so bad at fantasy, it's incomparable.
I accept my fate.
I've already won. I got AJ and Dalvin playing tonight. I've already won.
Yeah, but Kyle Pitts hasn't gotten as much as we thought he would, but I'm going to go Falcons here. The Falcons look good. The Falcons, were toe to toe with the Super Bowl winners. So I'm going to go Falcons in this one.
I'm going to go Seahawks. I think Seattle, obviously tough week against the Niners, but the Niners are a better team. I think the Falcons are a solid team too. I think we'll see kind of the Seahawks will be a bit of an on and off team, a team that pulls off some surprises. I think the Falcons are going to be kind of a very competitive bad team, almost like the Lions last year. I could see them being like that. But I think this is another game where it's going to be a really kind of tough, very close game. But I think give me Seattle. Close, though.
I'm going to go for Atlanta here. I'm not sold on any of these teams, obviously, because, they're not that good. But this is tough. It's Atlanta's game because I think – what you guys laughing about?
Nothing. Continue.
Nothing. Oh, now I know. I know.
Continue it.
Well, I'm gonna go for Atlanta. Stop. All right. Why? How I'm picturing.
If you guys don't know, we have a chat in how we're recording this. So, all right, continue, Dylan.
I'm gonna go for Atlanta because they're so mobile, all over the field. Cordero Patterson's such an elite weapon to have. Kyle Pitts hasn't really been impactful yet, but I think he will start to make that move. And Seattle just don't have the defense to put up with that amount of offense.
Yeah, I think, Dylan, you said it perfectly. I think the Seahawks are a team that will pull off some upset wins this season, and beating the Falcons would not be an upset win. So I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. I think the Seahawks might be able to beat some decent teams like the Broncos. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Broncos, but they are definitely, in my mind, a solid team. The Falcons are okay. They'll be a competitively bad team, and I think they'll be able to pull out a win against a not very good Seahawks team. You guys know what I think about the Seahawks this season. Geno Smith proved that to me today, and I'm going to take the Falcons in this one.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are just going to swing them around in this one. But we'll move on now to the next game, the Sunday night matchup where we have another. I honestly, and we'll talk about obviously the injuries. The 49ers play the Broncos. Obviously, prayers up to Trey Lance. Looks like he will be out for the entire season due to a severe ankle injury. So hopefully he's praying. Hopefully he ends up being okay. Obviously, terrible news. But I think a commentator said it very well in this sport. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Everyone gets injured. So I think obviously terrible to see, and you don't want injuries that long. But I think luckily for the 49ers, they arguably have, they're not going to lose a step with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's played so much football. This team will be fine without Trey Lance. It's more of making sure he recovers. If anything, I think the 49ers might be better with Jimmy Garoppolo, just from what I've seen of Trey Lance. But I'm going to go for the Broncos here. I don't think the Broncos have been very good. The Broncos don't look like a team that can make it far this year. I've not been a fan of the Broncos, but I'm going to go. I think they'll beat the Niners, but you never know. Jimmy Garoppolo has pulled off many upsets in his career. It's an offense in San Francisco that's pretty good. Shout out Talanoa Hufanga, who's looked absolutely fantastic for the 49ers.
Yeah,
it's absolutely a 49ers team that definitely could cause some problems. I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers went out and won it, but I'm going to go for for Denver here.
Yeah, I think personnel-wise, these teams are pretty comparable, but here's the difference. The Niners have Kyle Shanahan, and the Broncos have absolute fraudulent coach Nathaniel Hackett, who is a hack. And the difference is That's the difference. And I think even though the Broncos are home and they've got kind of the high altitude advantage, it won't be enough. I don't think the Niners haven't looked that good really this year so far, but I think they will beat the Denver Broncos just because Nathaniel Hackett is their coach.
Yeah, I'm not super high on the Broncos this season, but I just don't think the 49ers with Garoppolo, I know they're not going to be missing a beat, but I just think that the Broncos with Russell Wilson are a much scarier opponent than the 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo. So I I'm not going to say I really have a reason why I'm picking the Broncos in this one, because I don't really. I just think that the Broncos are the more likely team to win this game.
I hate both of these teams. I think they're both looking really bad this season comparatively to expectations, obviously. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo being in instead of Trey Lance, and obviously, hopefully Trey Lance is better. I hope he is able to recover from this because that looked really horrific. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo gives them a better chance to win. That's just the way I feel. And I don't think the Broncos looked good at all. So give me the 49ers.
All right. Oh, the 40. Yeah. Okay. Nothing like Dylan's I want to have a bad record this year pick. But we'll move on now to the Cowboys against the Giants. The New York Giants will win this game. The New York Giants are on an absolute roll right now. Daniel Jones has looked good somehow. At least he hasn't looked absolutely atrocious, which we're used to. Saquon didn't look great, but I mean, it just shows even more how much better this team has been if Saquon doesn't play good and we still win. Brian Dable has done some magic. This team has looked good. This team has looked like they can compete. I think they'll beat a Cowboys team without. I know how we were hating on Dak, but I think I'm going to use that as leverage in this. I'm going to be a hypocrite, but I'm going to go for the Giants here. And I know it's going to be wrong, and I know that they may get blown out, but I think the Giants they look like a different team this year.
I'm feeling crazy. I think I'm going to go Giants also.
Oh my God.
I can't believe I'm saying that. I know, and they haven't been, in my opinion, they haven't beaten good teams. I don't think the Titans are good. I don't think the Panthers are definitely not good.
All right, but the Cowboys and Cooper Rush aren't good either.
Exactly. That's why I think the Giants will win. Yeah. I don't think any of these. I think the Cowboys are a better team. Obviously, I think they're the best team they'll face, even with Cooper Rush, which in my opinion is sad. But I just think, like I said, Dable has those guys that they're playing well above their talent level, and that is really something to be excited for if you're a Giants fan. So, yeah, give me the Giants here. Upset pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Giants too. I so hesitant picking the Giants. I've done it the last couple of weeks.
Don't lie to yourself. You're not hesitant.
No, I am hesitant picking the Giants because I get disappointed every single time. Last 10 seasons, at least the last while I've been following the Giants, it's disappointing season after disappointing season. And we don't beat the Cowboys very often. And this is a chance to beat the Cowboys with Cooper Rush at the helm. And I think that the Giants defense has looked really, really good in these last 2 weeks, shutting down Derrick Henry, shutting down Christian McCaffrey. And now it's Ezekiel Elliott, 3 top running backs. I think Zeke is not one this year. But 3 very talented running backs. Zeke, not so much anymore, which I think will make it even easier. And now Kayvon Thibodeau is probably playing. Aaron Robinson is probably back. Aaron Robinson has looked a lot better than what's his name, who led up receptions to DJ Moore today. Flott looks good in the first half, not so good in the second half. And Aaron Robinson coming back will change that. I don't think that the Cowboys will get much going against the Giants defense. I think the Giants defense is better. And Daniel Jones has looked like a very different quarterback this season than last season. I'm not going to say Daniel Jones has looked stellar, but Daniel Jones looks very mature at the helm for the Giants. And I don't know whether it's something Brian Dable came in and changed. I don't know if it's something inside Daniel Jones, but he looked very mature playing today. He made a lot of really smart plays, smart decisions. We were watching, he threw, I think it was even in the first quarter, he took a snap, rolled out of the pocket. There was nothing open. He threw the ball away. And my brother goes, I think that might be the first time I've seen Daniel Jones throw a ball away.
Yeah.
And just signs like that, just showing that he's maturing as a quarterback. He's maturing as a quarterback. The play that ended the game, he stepped up. The play broke down. He scrambled, got up the middle, ended the game. He looks very different. And I really like Daniel Jones to at the start of this season. I know he's only thrown 3 touchdowns, but the Giants look a lot better than the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Giants in this one.
I respect your confidence, but I'm not gonna side with you guys here.
Come on.
I don't want
Second
to.
straight giant sweep would be crazy.
I don't want to, and I'm not
Come on,
going
at
to.
MetLife.
Listen. I don't think Cooper Rush is bad. I think Cooper Rush is a solid backup
Yeah, I
quarterback.
don't think so either.
And I think the Cowboys offense is pretty bad. So I think it's a little bit contradictory, but I don't think the Cowboys offense is going to score a lot of points. But I think the defense is going to be what wins the Cowboys this game, just because you look at how badly Brian Burns abused Evan Neal today. And then you're going to see Micah Parsons. And then you're going to see the
And the
interior.
Giants still won. I mean,
But
Evan Neal was not bad today, though.
Evan Neal was not good today.
Yeah, but he was that's not true. Brian Burns
I don't know.
beat him.
I'm not putting any rookie tackle up against Brian Burns and hoping he's going to shut him down.
But that's what you take the 7th overall pick and do. But
Yeah, that's true.
it's obviously you give him the time and stuff, but it's not like
No, but I agree. I think you put someone like Tristan Wirfs there as rookie year, and it's a different situation.
it wasn't a good shot.
Yeah, but it
Wasn't a good shot. But the difference between Micah Parsons and Brian Burns is massive. But that's not the sole reason. I think the Cowboys defense overall just has that turn the ball overness. That is a new one.
Yeah.
That is a new one.
It sounds like they've got that Tua disease.
Dylan, what's that? Oh, Dylan, what's that word we always say?
Heredity.
Heredity.
But they've got that ability to change the game. Trayvon Diggs looks like a different player this season. He does not look bad.
No, he has no, that's true. He's looking
he gave up
good.
He gave him a touchdown to T. Higgins today. That literally. Oh, it was actually no. That was not Trayvon Diggs.
No, Trayvon Diggs looks like a different player.
We're just saying that because he made a great tackle on Tyler Boyd to end the game, but
that's actually not what I'm saying. No, he was good against Tampa though.
Yeah, but Tampa also looked really bad.
Still
doesn't mean Trayvon Diggs looked bad.
Yeah, I'm never changing. I'm never changing my mind.
Yeah, I'm with you, Keen. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, you cannot be a fan, but I'm still gonna go Dallas here. Give me the Cowboys, and I think that ends it, right?
Yeah, that ends it. Week 3, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you all did enjoy. As always, throughout the week, we'll be posting clips of like separate games and other content will be going out during the week. As always, comment any videos you want to see from us. Follow us on other social medias. They're all linked in the description. If you guys have TikTok, we can go live now, which we'll probably be doing a lot more.
I'm hoping that we can start.
So make sure you guys, if you guys like hearing us speak, make sure you check us out over there. And as always, we're trying to. We'll probably, I believe this weekend we have 4 days off school, right? If I'm right.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah. So I believe we will
That's
do.
hype.
I think we will do a live stream for one of the games this week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. That's all posts all over our social medias before it happens. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Kian McDermott, Charlie Nidell, Dylan Shalom, and Suraj Kadali. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.